Oh,
He's
speaking of, well, he did a lot of like remakes of what he did, King Kong. He
yeah,
did, he did like the Planet of the Apes series. What do you think about the ideas of like the remakes, like the constant remakes every single generation is always like remakes of films.
right,
I mean, was it A Star Is Born had like four remakes in like the past like
right,
century. So like,
yeah.
what do you think about that sort of culture of cinema just rehashing previous work and just making it different? Or
Well, the thing I think is that's important to remember is that that has always been a part of cinema. I mean,
yeah,
you and I, we both studied film history.
yeah,
We know that during the French New Wave, the Cahiers de Cinéma writers would talk about, oh, we have to stop adapting novels.
yeah,
You know, they were saying that back then,
yeah,
and so that's always been a thing
yeah,
because cinema is one of the more recent art forms that's
yeah.
emerged. So of course, many stories have been told, and people have wanted to see those stories with people in the flesh
Yeah.
for since it's been there. I feel
Of their
like
own generation, like seeing
yeah.
their own generations.
So the amount of Shakespeare adaptations, there's always been
Yeah,
that. So I think it goes further to the concept of adaptation, but I think remakes are just like another step of people wanting to, for a new generation,
yeah,
have
exactly.
that. And I don't know if I have a like a slicing opinion on
Sure.
is it a definitive good or bad. I don't
Yeah,
really have that kind of opinion on that, but more rather, I think it's how you approach that, because you
yeah,
kind of have to, when you make a remake, you have to be aware
yeah.
that you gotta, you have to think outside the box to make it worth it,
I feel like
you
most
know?
remakes they just like to make sort of their own, like take the same story and just putting their own sort of little twist on it. Not really re-changing anything or adding into it. It's just sort of like,
Mm,
it's like a lot of remakes. I feel they often just take the same character but showcase a different light on it. Sort of like,
right.
for the Batman's, for example, there's very different. There's so many remakes. Spider-Man's has been holy
Yeah.
shit. I don't know how many remakes. Like, well, the three main ones. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of them is very much like it's the same character, but it would sort of just change a little bit of scenario or a little bit of like the villains or the little like little things they change here and there,
Right.
and then it's sort of it may say, oh, you know what? See what this looks like, and
Right.
so I feel like if you're making a remake of something or at least an adaptation of something, like add a little bit more originality to it because a lot of
I
I
mean,
feel
that's a difficult thing to
that's what I'm
ask.
saying. Yes, that's why it is difficult. But the thing is, it's like for example, the Planet of the Apes remake. That's what I really loved it because the original one was kind of just like, what the fuck's going on? It was like actual like it was I think it was aliens. It was or monkey aliens that came into to space or whatever. And the whole
Well, at the end
spaceship.
of the first, they revealed that it was on Earth, but for the
Yeah,
first one, you believe it's an alien
yeah, it's
planet.
an alien planet, and then you know all these characters, Nova, but then they did a remake. It was more of a prequel rather to the Planet of the
Yeah.
Apes, where they made the story so like different and so like grounded. They made the story way more sort of like, ooh, this is quite interesting. Like you know what I mean? Like when you rewatch the Planet of the Apes, the Rise, Dawn, and War as a trilogy, like you feel like you're in an adventure. Like it's not like
Mm.
something you watch or like, oh, that's hilarious, or like, oh no, that's sad, and then you move on, right? It's very much like, oh shit, okay, so this guy did this, and then chain of reaction, then this happened, and then this happened.
I I like about that stealth remake, but more of a prequel trilogy
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it actually informs the former trilogy
yeah.
in an interesting way.
It's a
I think
completion. Yeah,
that's the thing. I feel like we're also in an age where a lot of sequels appear as soft reboots,
yeah,
where they're kind of like reintroductions to those worlds after years of not getting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking here of like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
The marketing and a lot of what was shown before the film's release led many people to think it was a reboot.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think their marketing really made the film flop more than,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the original flop too. But
Well, I mean, a lot of people didn't understand what Blade Runner was. They thought it was just an
exactly,
action film, like a
it
Star
wasn't
Wars.
well marketed, I feel like, from the get go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that is clearly a sequel.
Yeah.
And a lot of films are like that, where they seem to be like hooks for, hey, you haven't seen this in a long time. Here's what this is, remember? And then they hook you back in, and it's like, oh, but it's actually a sequel.
Yeah.
So that we're in an age of that, whatever that is. I think we call them soft reboots.
Well, I mean, there's like so many series. Well, I mean, Star Wars is a massive one where one, and it was the 80s, and then they made one in the early 2000s. Now they did another trilogy that just that kind of like it didn't work. But anyways,
petered out.
Yeah, but I feel like there's always like that's why I don't think those soft reboots, right, or these sequels sort of like work too well, is because they often like try to sort of top the previous one instead of completing it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if like say like granted, yeah, it's like a sequel or prequel, and it sort of completes the story. Okay, I understand that, but it doesn't like sort of. It makes it sort of like it does cheap sort of recall like callbacks, and like they bring back Skywalker, and it's like, oh look, Skywalker is alive. Come on. Come watch the film. And then you know, like in the end of the fucking film, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? You know what I mean? So
I think the difficulty for a lot of these soft reboots is to create their own identity as individual films in a vacuum, separate from all the notoriety that their predecessors had as films. So, you know, they're kind of stuck where they have to either. I think that the sequel trilogy of Star Wars is a good example of them changing directions 3 times.
Yeah.
Every film, I feel like, doesn't completely feel like it's part of the same franchise or trilogy.
It's all different stories.
Yeah. And I feel like it's because the first one was completely in love with original Star Wars, right? It was completely like a love letter and a blind kind of nostalgic hook, like you said, showing, you know, the Falcon, Han Solo, and all that.
Yeah.
And then there were a few people that didn't like that.
Yeah.
And then the next one,
the prequels,
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That one went completely the other route, not blind fanaticism for Star Wars, just deconstructing without any respect.
Yeah.
And people really didn't like that. I actually think it's a bold move.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say it's a fantastic film, but I would say it's the most.
What did you say? It was a Fantastic Four film. I was like, oh shit.
No. No, let's not get on to the Fantastic Four. Oh no. But
that's really bad. It was a Fantastic Four film. It's really bad.
We'll get to that. I think The Last Jedi is the most daring of these new generation. And because it was so panned, because the audiences were not ready for that. Because after the last one, they were expecting more starry-eyed nostalgia.
Yeah.
And they got some of that, and then, we just wiped the slate clean with no respect, because we're showing, like, Rian Johnson was really trying to deconstruct a very constructive story.
Yeah.
You know, kind of black and white, kind of nostalgic tinge type of vibe by the first one. Completely smashes that. in a way that doesn't feel foreshadowed at all.
But I feel like it's like you're about to build a sandcastle, but the sandcastle's not complete yet, and you just completely destroy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then because of the big backlash of The Last Jedi, the third one is just how do I please people?
Yeah, it's like how do I thought my mistake. How do I fix it?
Oh, how do I build it back? And you don't have time to build the whole sandcastle back,
Yeah.
so you just build whatever you can.
You build the one
You
tower.
liked that the first time, right? You know.
But yeah.